Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
So check it out. The D6 Squad has merch now. We got hoodies, tees, mugs, whatever you need. Check it out. Link in the description. What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. So, listen. Kenny Golladay is probably getting franchise tagged. I dropped a video about that. Allen Robinson, we're probably not paying him $25 million. The Giants are negative in cap space. You can be really creative. You can always open up cap space to pretty much sign whoever you want. But there's going to be ramifications down the line, and we can't really predict exactly what the cap will be in the future. I'm thinking it'll go up 30, 40 million because you're projecting on what last year's cap was to go up from that. So I'm thinking it'll go up 30 to 40 million along with these new TV deals coming in. They might push this cap right now from 180 to 195. So that might change a little. But at the end of the day, after we make the cuts we make, we'll probably have about 30, 40 million. And you want some of that cap to roll over. You need to pay your draftees. You need to you need to be able to have depth players. You can't sign all star players and have zero left. This isn't basketball. So we're probably not going out and paying Allen Robinson $25 million or whatever he's going to command. It's probably not going to happen. So I've already said we might look at those tier 2 receivers, maybe a Corey Davis, a Curtis Samuel, maybe a since Golladay is going to be tagged, maybe a Chris Godwin if he hits free agency. There's a lot of wide receivers we can look at, and then there's some lower tier guys that'll be under 10 million, maybe 12 million at most. I'm thinking Curtis Samuel will be around 12 million, but there's guys who are going to be less than him. I'll actually have a video about that coming really soon, about 5 receivers that I think we can look at that'll be low-cost options that might not be number 1 receivers, but will be playmakers for whatever team they go to. So look out for that video coming soon. But this particular video right here is going to be about re-signing Leonard Williams, re-signing Dalvin Tomlinson. I've already seen the reports that said that Leonard Williams is kind of working with the Giants right now to get a deal done. They're trying to get this done before free agency, of course. They're trying to extend him. People are saying it's between 100 million and 110 million. So that will put him between on a 5-year deal. That will put him between 20 and 23 million dollars a year, which is pretty much where I thought he would show up at. 23 is kind of high, but I thought he would probably be around 19.5 to 20. So yeah, if it's at 23, that's a lot. He's got to really build off of what he did this year and continue to be that kind of player, because if he's not, then we would have wasted a lot of money for the next 5 years. And, Joe Judge and Dave Gettleman, they like to give these 3-year deals. But if we're giving somebody a 5-year deal, that means we really believe in this player. So if we give him a 5-year deal, please, Leonard Williams, don't be one of those players that just gets their big check and just stops playing well, because that will destroy the Giants at $23 million a year. Yeah, the cap will be going up in the future, but that's a lot of money that you just can't get rid of. So 20 and 23, that's fine. I'm thinking Dalvin Tomlinson will probably be getting paid somewhere between 10 to 13 million, maybe high end 14 million. And I don't think that we can afford to bring him back at that. But I think if we can get him for about 10 or 11 million, I think that's possible. And I think if you bring back Leonard Williams and you pretty much have come to the conclusion that you're not going to go out and get that big time receiver, why not bring both back? I mean, why not? If you're going to bring one back, why not bring both back? Because what works is it's already working there. It's already working there. The interior defensive line is incredibly important in the 3-4. You need guys that can win their one-on-ones, that can command double teams. And, maybe go out and get a tier 2, tier 3 edge rusher to kind of build on that and, address that also in the draft. And the defensive line will probably be improved, because we wouldn't take the step back by losing our best player on that line, which would be Leonard Williams. So if you can bring both of those guys back, I think our line is going to be, at the very worst, the same. And what I think will be, after we add some more pieces to supplement, even with Lorenzo Carter coming back and O'Shane Ximines coming back, and hopefully Kyler Fackrell coming back on a short-term, low-cost deal, we'll have a lot more depth here. So I'm kind of excited to see. I'm kind of excited to see that defensive line. Since we're not probably going out and getting Kenny Galladay because he's probably going back to the Lions. But Leonard Williams, he showed that he was a good player. He's shown that he's a good player pretty much his entire career. He just hasn't gotten the stats. And it seems like in this Patrick Graham scheme, he's able to actually go out and get sacks. He's able to line up all over the line of scrimmage, pretty much how he was built. And, I've always been someone who's been a supporter of Leonard Williams. I've made my sessions, my film sessions about him, supporting him. I never thought that he wasn't worth being paid as a good, top tier kind of rusher. He's not an elite 3-4 edge rusher, but he is an elite rusher. And when you look at the other, the other 3-4 rushers, they're getting paid, more than the 20 to 23. Maybe, I think Buckner is getting paid more than 20. Aaron Donald, of course, is getting paid more than 20. Chris Jones, I can't really remember his cap hit, but I'm pretty sure it was over 20. So that's just the market. I think Leonard Williams is every bit as good as Chris Jones. Maybe a tick behind Chris Jones, but I think the only player who can say that they're head and toes better at the same position that Leonard Williams is playing is Aaron Donald. And he's going to, when he gets his new deal, he's probably going to make $30 million a year. So Leonard Williams is going to be worth it going in the future. The cap will go up, and this won't seem like as big a contract as it is right now. I'm convinced that he's coming back 100%. And that's going to force us to go to the next tier of free agents besides the defensive line. I don't know if they've already made a decision to move on from Dalvin Tomlinson. There's a couple of nose tackles in the draft that I think that the Giants could take in the first, 4 rounds that will be solid. I can make videos about that. I wouldn't be angry if we traded back and took Christian Barmore, which people would hate. But, if we needed to replace someone along that interior to defensive line, I wouldn't be mad about it. I really wouldn't. But Dalvin might be able to come back. If we pay Leonard Williams $23 million, it probably goes down his chances of coming back because you took Leonard Williams. You used a 3rd round pick for him. You're going to pay him $23 million. You used the 1st round pick on Dexter Lawrence. How much money are you going to commit to those 3 defensive linemen? Especially when we don't have, the best pass rush in the league. We have a decent pass rush. We have an above league average pass rush, but we're not the best in the league. So a lot of things are going to go into this. If, I think the big wild card is Dalvin Tomlinson. And if we don't sign Dalvin Tomlinson, I think all of the money that we would have used to pay Dalvin Tomlinson will be going towards the receiver position. And as I said, I have about 4 or 5 names in my head right now. One name I'll give you just off the top of my head is Brashad Perryman. So, think of people on his level, of people who, could be number 2s. And I know you're saying we already have enough of guys that can project. But I think if you go out and you take this, tier 2 kind of receiver or tier 3 kind of receiver that's not necessarily a number 1, then you have, you free yourself up to just say, I'm going to take this number 1 receiver at 11, and one will be there. I promise you one will be there. Devontae Smith may be there because people are, up in a tizzy about his weight. Jalen Waddle could very well be there if Devontae Smith stuff is all smoke. Jalen Waddle could be there. And if he's not there, you could have Rashad Bateman there. And I know Rashad Bateman is going to be there. I just know that for a fact, unless some teams get scared and trade up ahead of us. And then if not, we'll have great value. And there's still receivers who we can draft in the 2nd round who can project as future number 1 receivers. So we may not all get exactly what we want this offseason, but we can improve. We can definitely improve and bring back Leonard Williams and get the receiver that we want. We can definitely do that. So you guys let me know what you think of this entire Leonard Williams situation. It's like I said, it's looking like we're going to pay him somewhere between 20 and 23 mil. I think he's worth it as a player. You guys let me know what you think he's worth. So if you made it this deep into the video, I'm calling you a D6 squad member. If you're a D6 squad member, you got to hit that subscribe button. You got to turn on that notification bell. And listen, I make all kinds of content for NFL teams. So if you're not a Giants fan, don't worry. I'll cover your team. If I'm not covering your team, let me know. And have a good one.